You know I like my spread tight. Cold beer on a Tuesday night. Max and Dave talking football all night on the amateur hour.
Oh, dude, short intro. Welcome to episode 4 of Amateur Hour Podcast with John Expert Opime and David Ice Cold Wood. Welcome into this week. It's an exciting week. We have a loser kind of on as the guest because he was not the first place guy this week, but the first place guy was swamped. Busy guy can't come on, so we brought in the next best thing, which is Max. Welcome on, Max.
Thank you. Yeah, I wish I was here under better circumstances with a fully deserving guest spot, but I'll take what I can get.
No, but I think all jokes aside, you've actually been killing it this year. Haven't you had like 3 second place finishes?
No, two. But 2 seconds equals a first. So I guess if that math checks out, I'm here. So yeah, I think I am. Yeah, I'm doing, I guess, surprisingly well.
uh, can I read off what Joe said?
Yeah, go ahead and
you
read
want to
off
do
what
it?
Joe said. The winner from week 3.
So Joe Klazowski went from last, 5 picks correct, to 12 correct the next week.
Whoa.
The comeback of the year, the bounce back
Fair.
of the year. We are going to get him on. We'll probably do some like special weekend podcast with Joe talking about, because he's a big sports bettor, so he'll give us the tightest lines and tell us the best bets. But Joe wanted everyone to know, this is direct quote. I want to thank my fans for sticking with me through tough times. Week 2 is a struggle, almost as bad as Green Bay in last year's playoffs, but unlike them, we were able to turn it around and catch a dub. I credit this win to Busch Light for keeping me well hydrated and to all the Bears fans out there.
Huge Busch Light guy and huge Natter Day guy, Joe Klosowski. Congrats on the win, Joe. That's like a good segue into my outfit for today. Obviously, Bears. Joe's a big Bears fan. Shout out, Joe. I also wore the jersey that he gifted me. Mike Ditka. So there's a throwback jersey, throwback Bears jersey, Mike Ditka, obviously a living legend of the Chicago Bears franchise. And also, I just wasn't really feeling wearing a modern Bears jersey because they're ass and they've been disappointing. So I'm just going to go with the throwback Bears jersey before my time. And shout out Mike Ditka.
Mike Ditka. Love you, dude. Love you. What are we drinking tonight?
Maxie, what are you drinking? Was that a Coke?
No, it's just iced tea. So, yeah.
What kind?
What do you mean iced tea?
What brand is it?
It's not brand. I mean, I guess Lipton, it's just black tea. I mean, I make it at home, so it's just black tea. Yeah.
Homemade slaps a little bit better with all the the elbow grease that goes into it. I have a little seltzer here. I'm switching up the pace this week, going away from beer, going with a seltzer. So I got a Truly Punch, my favorite of all seltzers.
Nice.
I have a Topo Chico.
Topo Chico.
Topo
Yeah.
Chico.
Tangy lemon lime.
Nice.
So, yeah. And then Max, do you want to just, so people that don't know you, do you want to just give a little intro about yourself, like where you grew up, who you root for, shit like that?
Everyone kind of knows me, I think, for the most part. That's in the group. But I'm from the suburbs of Chicago originally, but I live in Chicago now. So I'm not really too diehard or anything into Chicago. I kind of just root for different teams, with the exception of the Bulls. I'm a pretty big Bulls fan. But in terms of football, I like the Packers and the Bears. I'll root for both of them. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like the Bears, they're really not like that good. So, like that'd be kind of silly to just keep rooting for them, I guess, But yeah, I just kind of like the league and the sport in general, I guess.
I don't disagree with that statement about the Bears, but you also can't like root for their bitter rivals.
Well, I think Green Bay, it's cool. It's like the smallest city that has a professional sports team in the country. Like I think that's just pretty cool.
Yeah,
Max is always rooting for the little guys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Packers have been good for a while. They're not really like the little guys per se, but they were used to be like, they at least used to be fun to watch. They're not really that good they're not really that fun this year. But I don't know. I'm sure you guys would get into the football talk.
What's with the position? Like, are you trying to seduce me to this evening, or what's going on?
I'm just chilling in the bed. I didn't want to sit on my back, so I'm just in the guest bedroom / office. And yeah, I was like, I might as well be comfortable.
Yeah, comfort's king, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can see
What's
me. Yeah. I would stand, but like, there's not really a good place to put my laptop.
No, don't stand.
I would.
Don't stand.
Well, no, I'm not like stand, but because Carmina's watching a show out in the main room.
Hey, that's a perfect segue. Do you have your relationship report card for the week?
Yeah, she texted me. But do you guys want to go first, or?
Yeah, sure.
No.
I'll go. Dave,
Okay.
go ahead.
No, I'm not ready.
Okay, I'll go. I got a 10. This is my first 10.
Oh, 10?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, me and Dave, we're not going to be able to go. We're not going to be able to say anything now. How it's 10?
Well, she promised me because I had cooked a big meal on last Thursday, and she's like, "I'll give you an 11 this week," and then I worked it down to a 10, so I wasn't 11. I've been a great husband and cat dad, and I've done a lot of cooking and cleaning the past week, and I appreciate it. It revolves around cooking and cleaning if I do that.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting tired of the cooking and cleaning.
Okay, I'll tell her to switch it up.
Standard husband stuff, I think.
It's like standard living stuff. Yeah, everyone has to cook and clean.
Yeah, I'll tell her to switch it up. Go ahead.
I got an 8 for this past week, so I'm satisfied with an 80%. I was a great wedding date, even though I was a groomsman. Sometimes that can be difficult. And I swung by Hy-Vee and picked up some great snacks at the grocery store. So,
wow, what snacks?
I went to the grocery store hungry, picked up some ice cream, some hot Cheetos. So, you know how it is.
Excellent.
Nice. Okay, I was in between you guys. I got an 8.5 because I went and / I drove us to medieval times for her brother's birthday in making a Trader Joe's trip, but not a full 10 because I only called her pretty one time this week.
Yeah, sometimes you take
something to improve on.
Sometimes you take that for granted, and that's a lesson that we can learn during this process is that we don't want to take our women for granted. So
yeah, when she said when I originally told her that I need to do the relationship grade, I knew I wasn't going to be a 9 or a 10, but I knew I wasn't also like a 4 or 5. So, but I was happy with the 8.5.
Do you look at this and think that our significant others have low standards?
Me?
All of us, like, don't you kind of think that? It's like all I've done is cook a couple of meals.
Well, yours specific, yeah. I mean, cooking and cleaning, yeah. Everyone has to cook and clean. But
I mean, you guys think that our significant others don't have low standards?
Yeah, I went to the grocery store and I drove to the medieval times. Medieval times is awesome. So
David picked up snacks.
And that was a good wedding day, dude. That's way better than doing the dishes like you, dude. Everyone cooks and cleans. What makes you survive?
A good wedding day?
Because
I dare may I say, you might not have been the best wedding date at John's wedding.
No, I was not the best wedding date at John's wedding. But we didn't get a report on that.
That was before you done the report cards.
I didn't puke at all. I behaved myself.
Yeah. I will also say that John getting a 10, you also know that you're getting this grade every week. I was totally spur of the moment. I mean, I had no idea of this for the past week. I was going to be getting a grade. You know,
that's true.
You know, you're working for that grade all week long. So
yeah, it's like studying for a test and then giving a pop quiz for Max, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You got all this time to prepare.
Well, I will say, Max, and you won. I think you get the crown. You get the crown this week for the relationship report card.
No, because no. I'm not going to take your crown.
Okay, let's go pick 'em results. We talked about Joe won, Max second, Jake Sepka third for the second week in a row. So good job, Jake Sepka.
He's cooking. He's cooking.
We're proud of you. Yes.
Thank you to the tiebreaker.
Yeah, you screwed him. You snaked his ass, dude. That was snaky. That was good. At the bottom, we have Woody's winners. with 5 correct this week.
Whoa, bottom! You got last, David?
Yeah, Woody's losers this week. That was a bad week, and even beyond the pick 'em, I'm just ice cold gambling. I went to Iowa this weekend, so I threw some bets down, and
Yeah.
it was ugly. It was real ugly.
Sorry.
Take a break, take a breather, focus on your breath and come back in a couple of days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrible, but I cannot talk because overall I am dead last.
Well, I don't think I finished dead last. I think I finished tied for last.
You and Bo were at the bottom.
Bo knows,
But-
baby.
Yeah, I'm going with you. That sounds quite not so lonely down there.
I cannot talk shit yet because Sean and I are tied for last. We have 18 right out of 48 picks. We're just a little above 30%.
Yeah, but if this week shows you anything, it's that you may be down, but you're never out.
That's true. That is good. And Max is at the top. Max is 28 out of 48 picks correct, dude.
Ooh,
Damn.
nice.
What is can you give our listeners any advice? What is your system?
There's no system. I mean, just stick to the game, what it says. It's pick 'em. I mean, I don't really think about it. Just pick whatever kind of you think, off your first bat of the eye, just boom, 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 boom. I mean, I don't think about it too much. I don't really change my picks. Like whatever I kind of pick when I first look at it, just like going off my first reaction.
Have you thought about so if you're 28-20 right now on the season, have you thought if you put $10 on the pick'ems of each pick that you've had, you'd be in the green big time? Have you thought about doing that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but that's not like what would happen when you actually would bet money.
Probably not.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't happen like that. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. It's probably too early to trust that process.
So to summarize,
you guys know are different.
Yeah, play fast and loose is what you're saying. Don't overthink it.
Yeah, I guess so. Just pick whatever. I mean, whatever kind of looks right and what you think. Yeah.
Well, congrats to you. It's a pleasure to have you on. We really appreciate you being here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Yeah.
Dave, what was your lock of the week last week?
Yeah, about that. Didn't go too well for me. I had Saints -2.5 at Carolina. I think the final score was 21-12 or something like that, 22-12. Carolina won. So my lock of the week once again was not a lock. So I'm officially 1-2 on the year of my locks of the week.
I'm just glad you're keeping track. I'm curious.
I think I was right. I had the Browns over the Steelers by 5.5, and then they had that bullshit
game. How you picked that?
Yeah, I'd like to throw the challenge flag on your locks of the week. Your philosophy of how you're picking them is a bullshit way to do lock of the week.
Yeah, that's in bad spirit. That's not in good faith.
Yeah, it's dirty. You're playing dirty.
It's not. It's lame.
I'm glad Max is on here to defend me because you're playing dirty. You need to pick a lock of the week that you actually think is going to happen, not reverse psychology. Because if you reverse psychology, then you're 1-2 as well.
It just takes the fun out of it. Yeah.
You ruined the fun.
So then fine. I won't explain my reasoning. I'll just tell you my lock of the week then.
No, because that's stupid. You should just.
That's not. Yeah, man. That's not the spirit.
Look at the spread of games and pick a game that you genuinely feel good about. That's the funny part. Is that I feel amazing about my locks of the week, which is why I put them out here on this podcast, and I'm 1-2.
And that's why it's funny seeing how many you get right over the year.
Okay, I was looking at it as a trap game. Like I said, it's too easy. That was my intuition. So I'm like, it's a trap game. That's why it's a lock.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing it again this week, so I don't give a shit what you think. So what is my record on the lock of the week?
What do you? I'm the listener, man. I'm the audience. I'm the target audience. You should care what I think.
I do. Thank you for your feedback.
Your record on the year is 2-1 with an asterisk, a huge asterisk, because you're not playing by the rules. It's almost like Barry Bonds hitting homers. It's just not fair.
All right. So I'm doing better in the lock of the week than you. Perfect. Okay. Surprise game of the week.
Wait, who's your lock of the week? Oh, wait. That was last week. Oh, yeah. Okay. We'll do that later.
Sorry. It's coming up, dude. That's the last segment, dude. Jesus. God.
Yeah, did you
Max,
read the outline?
Give him my fucking outline. Jesus. Okay. All right. What was? You gotta settle down. Even Max knows the fucking schedule, dude. Holy shit, Dave.
All right, sorry. I'm back.
my
I'm back.
Dude. Okay, what was your surprise game of the week, Max? I'll put you on the spot.
Surprised, like what was I surprised by last week?
Yes.
Probably I guess it would have to be what everyone else would probably agree with, the Chiefs and the Colts. Yeah, I mean, I think the Colts scored like 0 points the week before. So like if you score 0 points, like I'm definitely gonna think you suck. So like that was like that was, I didn't really see how that like was possible.
That was a trap game,
I
dude.
covering the spread, but I mean outright winning, like that was crazy.
Yeah, sometimes the surprises of the week are not necessarily with the spread. It's just like the outcome, and that outcome was crazy. Like I'm just really surprised the Colts even put up that kind of a fight.
Yeah, you said yeah.
Obviously, for me, like every time I could just argue that my lock of the week that inevitably loses is my surprise of the week, but I'll go different. I'll say just the pure outcome. I'm not surprised they covered the spread, but Jaguars Chargers 38-10 Jags. That's a pretty surprising outcome. I was pretty shocked by that. Even with like a banged up Herbert, I figured like they could keep it close.
How do you feel about them like leaving Herbert in that whole time? Like even when they were blowing out in the fourth, there was no point. And
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't smart at all. I don't really know what was going through their head. I don't know why you'd even have him out there. Number one, I probably would have rested him in the first place because then, like, if you lose to him, it doesn't look too bad. But now you got killed by him and you had him in the whole game, which is just dangerous. So it's like double dipping on the just terribleness that you just had out there.
Yeah.
John, any other surprises besides those two?
I mean, so I guess it was surprising. I was gonna say the Jaguars, Chargers, just because they dominated them. I think that was the most surprising. But I will say I was surprised the Dolphins held on to beat the Bills at the end. I thought for sure with how many opportunities Josh Allen had. I think he injured his finger like throwing it into someone's helmet, and he said it wasn't an issue. But the last play, it was like 4th down, like 15 yards out from the end zone. He had that guy wide open, and he just missed the ball.
It was his footwork. You got to get your footwork straightened out. He was like throwing with his shoulders and his feet square instead of locking and loading, turning the feet and really rifling it in there.
Okay, so you don't think a finger's an issue?
I think it could definitely be an issue, but I think that limp dick throw that he had was because of his feet and his.
That was limp, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was limp.
That was limpy.
Dude, he's like got a big enough arm that he could. I didn't see the play, but he's got like a big enough arm where it doesn't really matter. Kind of his feet, he could probably like sling it like almost anywhere, right? Or
so you're on team finger with John.
No, I don't know. I didn't see that. So I don't. I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. What
Hand up. Full truth here. I did not know he had a finger issue, so I think it was a footwork issue. So, but I could be swayed because I didn't know about the finger.
I was just surprised by how many opportunities that the Bills had. They did not capitalize. But I guess credit to the Dolphins' defense. I mean, they've actually done quite well this year. Besides the Ravens game, I think that was pretty high scoring. But the Dolphins' defense is looking good, and that's a recipe for a Super Bowl championship right there.
Are you guys buying in on the Dolphins this year? 2022
yes.
Dolphins?
Johnny, that Super Bowl futures ticket in on them or what?
I should. I will say that I think that is the best division in football right now.
The AFC, just because, but those two teams are good, but the Jets and Patriots aren't good.
No, but I mean, to show me another division with two teams that good.
Maybe like the Chiefs and the Chargers.
But I think you're missing the point of the best division. The best division is top to bottom.
Top to bottom, yeah, not just
not top heavy.
Yeah, because the Jets are like one of the worst teams in the league.
They have a better record than the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Let's pump the brakes and give it some time. It's only week 3, so.
And the Broncos have not scored more than 20 points in a game.
Yeah,
all you have to score 3 touchdowns, you will win the game against them.
Broncos suck, dude. I don't know what's going on with the Broncos. If I had to put a Super Bowl future on someone,
but you said what conference had or what division had those two good a teams. You didn't say about the other two teams.
The Chargers are 1-2, dude, and they got curb stomped by the Jaguars.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, they're also missing let's also not forget about this against the Jags. They're missing their center, who's a Pro Bowler. They lost their left tackle, who's a Pro Bowler. They didn't have Keenan Allen, who's a Pro Bowler, and Herbert's banged up. So I'm not ready to write off the Chargers yet.
I understand.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I think one of the best divisions in football is actually the NFC North. Because the Lions are like a lot better than usual, and like the Packers are like, obviously people are kind of all having them as like the top few teams in the NFC, and then like the Lions and the Vikings are pretty tough outs. Like, no one's really, looking forward to those games on the schedule. The Bears are like the worst, but even them, I don't know, they get lucky sometimes.
They're 2-1.
Yeah, exactly. They can like squeak ones out. So.
The Lions gave the Eagles their closest game, I think, this year.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's not a bad argument. I like that argument. I like it.
They're definitely they're the scrappiest division in all of NFL, I bet.
Yeah.
How do you define scrappy?
I don't know, like Max said, nobody really wants to see him on the schedule. Nobody really wants to go a couple years ago maybe, but no one really wants to go this year like to Detroit. Or to Minneapolis or even to Soldier Field, because like anything can happen. Yeah. When you see those teams on your schedule, I mean, they're scrappy. They're going to fight till the very finish.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Well put, David. Well put. All right, fantasy leaders for the week. Top 5. Lamar Jackson again, 40 points. Devontae Smith, the wide receiver from the Eagles, 31 points. Khalil Herbert from the Bears, 31 points. Matt Collins from the Las Vegas Raiders, a wide receiver, 30 points, and then Mark Andrews, 29 points. Baltimore Ravens tight end.
Who was that, fourth?
Matt Collins.
I don't think I've heard of that.
No one has, dude. He's like 29 years old. I think people that had Devontae Adams were like, what the hell is going on? He had 8 of 10 targets. He caught 158 yards and a touchdown.
Jesus, holy crap.
Devontae Adams wasn't injured.
This guy.
That's the definition of a BBW, man.
That was, dude. I wish neither of us. No one said put Matt Collins in your starting lineup this year.
I'm not digging that low in the rankings to pick a BBW.
On a team?
Probably not. He's probably less than 5% owned, I bet.
He's rostered in 1% of leagues.
Are you? Oh, wow. He
is the first, I think, official BBW of the week.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
That's what this award is given for guys like Matt Collins.
Matt Collins. Dude.
Wow. Shout out to him. Yeah.
Matt Collins, keep it up. What are you guys' thoughts? You surprised? Obviously, we're surprised by Matt Collins. Surprised by Lamar Jackson being up there again? I think he was up there last week.
No, I drafted him in fantasy. I think anytime a quarterback like Lamar has that much confidence and can run like that, it's like a lock to get a great amount of points every week. I think I love watching him play. He just has so much confidence and swagger, and he's so fast and just so agile. Like he's a great fantasy asset. He's essentially like a running back and a quarterback in one.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. Because he gets all those rushing yards for you,
Yeah, it's just so much more points.
I think he was the leader in week 2 as well. So 2 weeks with like 40 points, which is crazy.
I do have Herbert in 2 of my other leagues, and that's concerning.
Well, he is injured. I think
turns out you need ribs to throw the ball.
When you're thrusting or what?
It's a lot of torque, and if you don't have ribs there, I mean that's tough. So he still can sling it. Don't get me wrong, but I think he's a little skittish out there. He's not his normal confident guy. Usually Herb's out there just slinging it around, but now he's a little he's grimacing before he's throwing. He's watching where guys are coming from. He's more nervous in the pocket.
If you're down there on the field, do you think you can hear the raspy voice because he's like breathing in through a punctured lung? Just right before he's gonna throw it.
Probably. And if I was him, I wouldn't let those Chargers doctors anywhere near my ribs because I saw what happened with Tyrod Taylor. I mean, guy almost died. So.
R.I.P. But he's still alive.
Yeah.
Okay, let's cover the Bears game. Let's get that out of the way. Big W.
Yeah, let's get that out of the way. I was driving this week, so I didn't really catch the game, but it was a stinker from what I could see. I don't really know what is in the water in Chicago, why every quarterback just sucks, but Fields is making me nervous. They're throwing the ball 10 times a game. I mean, you're not going to win games like that. You're not going to win games when the quarterback can't get in a rhythm. Uh, you got to let the guy drop back and sling the ball around, and they're not letting him do that right now. So we're never going to know if he's the answer if we don't give him a chance. But you mentioned it earlier, Khalil Herbert, big bright spot of the week. He filled in very well for Montgomery, who has been running well throughout the season. So it's always good to have a solid backup running back. The Packers, believe in that philosophy as well. And Herbert stepped in there and filled in the role, and 2 touchdowns on the day to show for it. So shout out Khalil Herbert.
How about defense?
Defense could have been better. Giving up 20 points to the Houston Texans is never a great performance, but you know what? They showed up when they needed to. Bend don't break. Roquan Smith, big pick to seal the game there at the end. So love Roquan Smith, great player. Glad he's not holding out. I was real worried about that because he's pretty much our whole defense. But it's they're starting to figure things out, I think, which is good. We got a couple turds on the schedule in the beginning of the year, which is always helpful. Next week we play the Giants. So historically, Giants aren't very good. They're decent this year, but they put on a real stinker last night. So I think there's always a chance to get things ironed out there in the first few weeks.
5 sacks allowed.
Yeah, offensive line is probably the weakest point of the Bears team. Fields not only is not throwing the ball, but when he does drop back to throw the ball, he's just getting harassed back there. He's running for his life. I mean, basically doing everything he can not to die back there. So it's always tough when you don't have time to go through your progressions, look down the field. He's just kind of dropping back, maybe looking to the flat right away to get the ball away, or just running for his life. So really hard to get a good assessment of Fields at this point. But right now, I'm not pleased, I guess, with his overall performances.
And is the Houston defense supposed to be good?
I mean, probably not. No, Houston's pretty much ass top to bottom. So I would assume their defense is not really like one of the top defenses in the league. I bet if you looked at what percentage they're owned on fantasy football, it's less than 5%.
Okay, yeah. So if it was like a stellar defense like the Bills coming in and getting 5 sacks, you'd be like, oh, okay. But you're not satisfied with the Houston Texans hanging 5 sacks on you?
No, I couldn't tell you one defensive lineman for the Houston Texans. I think the Bears played the Browns in like week 1 or 2 last year, and me and Sepko watched the game together, and we were real excited about it. And then Fields got sacked like 9 times, I think. But that defense had like Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney and some other like big name guys, and they're a great defensive line. The Houston Texans, I mean, it's not exactly like the premier defense of the NFL. So
Jerry Hughes, the 34-year-old, I think nose tackle, had 2 sacks.
Age is but a number. Age is but a number, but yeah. You can't let a guy like Jerry hang 2 sacks on you, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I agree. Max, did you watch the Bears game?
No, I did not. I mean, I watched a little bit of it, but no, not really.
Was it on TV where you live, Max?
Yeah, I mean, I live in Chicago, so yeah, it's always on. It's always on TV.
That's kind of what I figured. It wasn't on like where I was at. It was Lions Vikings on Fox. So.
Oh, okay. I don't remember if it was on Fox or CBS, but no, it was on CBS because the Lions and Vikings game was on Fox here. Yeah, so you could watch.
Oh, okay. They had Chiefs Colts on our CBS.
Oh, actually, you know what? I didn't watch the Bears game that much because they gave the NFL Red Zone a free trial this week for YouTube TV. So I was watching the Red Zone this week, so I didn't really watch, and the Bears didn't come up on it too much.
No.
So
what do you think of it?
Well, it's all right. It's a little too chaotic for me. I like watching games like from the start to the beginning or the start to the end, and because you can kind of get a feel for it, and I don't more so than just going switching screens all every 30 seconds. So it is kind of nice at certain times in the game. Especially if you're betting on the games, or I get it for fantasy purposes. But just for my own like viewing purposes, no, I prefer just to have a game or have like 2 games on and be able to flip back and forth between like 2 games. Yeah.
So of the broadcast, do you like Thursday night football, Sunday night football, or Monday night football better?
Well, I haven't really, I can't tell because they changed so much since last year. I haven't watched like enough this year of like the
Okay.
of all
What
the
about in
announcements.
the past?
Uh, what it was it Joe Buck? Who was Joe Buck with?
Aikman.
Buck and Aikman on Fox. But
Yes.
now are those two now during Monday Night Football, right?
Now they're Monday Night Football.
Yeah, so they're probably like the best.
That's what you think?
Yeah, I mean, right? Who else is?
Who would you go with, Dave?
I like Joe Buck a lot. I don't like Aikman very much, but I do like Joe Buck. I used to hate him, so I took a big 180 on that one. I like the new Thursday night with Herbstreit and Al Michaels. I always liked Al Michaels, and I like Herbstreit with the
Oh,
college. So him coming to NFL, it's different, but I do like both of them. So they're a decent broadcast.
okay, I don't like that one actually. I know that. Yeah.
Okay, what about Jim
I mean,
Nance and Romo?
what's that?
What about Jim Nance and Romo?
No, I don't like them either. I don't really like Romo.
What?
Yeah.
I like Jim
So
Nance.
I like Booger. I like Booger
Oh,
McFarland.
dude, Booger is the worst.
I thought it was funny, man. I like him.
Booger was funny when he was in the Booger Mobile and you didn't have to hear from him very much.
Funny as hell.
But
Yeah.
once they put him in the booth, I was done on Booger.
Thinking of all the people in the front rows that can't see the game because of Booger is right in front of them.
Yeah, I would actually say Sunday nights. I would go complete opposite of everyone.
Oh,
I like
Sunday night is worst. Chris Collinsworth is the absolute worst.
I like it. They were such a staple. Chris Collinsworth, who was the other guy? He's not on this year with him.
It used to be Al Michaels.
Yeah, it's Mike
Yes.
Tirico, I think now.
Oh, okay.
I like Mike Tirico, but Collinsworth is the biggest deep throater for Aaron Rodgers ever, dude. He finds like teams quarterbacks that he loves, and he just doesn't give it up. Like he's just like Aaron Rodgers, man. He's an incredible quarterback. The way that he goes out there, I just love seeing him slinging around there with so much confidence against the Chicago Bears team. He owns Chicago. Did you see him last year, Al? I hate Chris Collinsworth, dude.
Did you see the fans that had the deed to the city of Chicago and it had Aaron Rodgers' name on it in that game?
No.
Yeah, that's pretty funny, man.
Pretty good one.
Go ahead, Max.
Back to the announcers. I am. It kind of sucks because I guess so. My favorite is Buck and Aikman, who are on the Monday Night Football. But I also really like the Manning cast, which coincides with the Monday Night Football now with those two. Those are probably like the two favorite ones, and they're both on the same night, which kind of sucks. But I think that the surprisingly, like I'm surprised how much like charisma and like funny Eli is. Because you really expect that, like watching him play. Like you knew.
How do you watch that?
What do you mean?
Like I've never watched it. How do you watch that?
Oh, you should watch it. It's on ESPN too.
Yeah.
And what I liked about that is I watched that every Monday night last year because it was like Booger, Brian Greasy, and like someone else, and I was like maybe Dan Orlovsky or something. I'm just like, screw this, dude. I'm turning on ESPN2 and watching the Manning cast. But now it's tough. Like you said, you're like, do I watch Aikman and Buck or do I watch the Manning cast?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's hard now. Yes, yeah. Last year I was always watching the Manning cast. Yeah, because they bring in a lot of good guests.
You could maybe compromise. I think the Manning cast doesn't do every week. They do like 10 weeks or 11 weeks, and then the rest are all just regular.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Maybe we jump on the Manning cast bandwagon for the weeks that they are present, and then when they're not there, we go back to our Joe Buck and Aikman.
That makes it nice. Yeah.
Should also check out the Manning cast. I wasn't aware.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into the Packers game. Did you watch that one, Max?
No, I was looking forward to it, but that's when we went to medieval times, so I didn't get to watch the Packers game.
Do you want to what are your thoughts then on the Packers and Bears this season? What have you?
I mean, I don't think there's really much to be impressed by either teams. I mean, sure they won, but then the Packers score I looked at like the thing, after the game cast or whatever, the play-by-play, they scored like on their first two possessions and they didn't do anything the whole rest of the game. Like you can't. That's like not good.
They got to work on that, man.
Yeah, and the Bears, like you said, like Justin Fields barely ever passing. Like throw the effing ball. Like I don't know what they're thinking. Like can you look at see what everyone else is doing in the league?
Yeah.
Like what are you doing? I don't. So like yeah, I think I wouldn't really be. I mean, I guess both teams are 2-1, right? But
That's what's crazy.
like yeah, but they're a lot. I mean, it's still 17 game seasons now. I mean, like it's not. There's a lot of teams 2-1. There's a lot of season left. Like so not. And I mean, I don't. Yeah. So and for viewing purposes, like I want to watch good games. I want to watch some like good football. So I want both teams to step it up.
Well, I hope that they can do it for you.
It's a great analysis, Max.
That is good analysis.
But
I think it is.
Not that much game film yet.
I'm serious. Yeah, I'm serious. I mean, I think you wrapped it up well. I think both teams are somehow 2-1. I don't think either one's been very impressive. But you never really know where it's going to go. I mean, the Packers, you kind of know, usually they turn it around and start just getting better and better as the year goes on until inevitably they lose in the playoffs. But I mean, the Bears are kind of a mystery team. They'll most likely just be average, and that's just how it goes. But right now, both teams have good records, but not really impressive wins in games.
Yeah, and I mean, like he was without Mike Evans. I don't think he had Godwin.
No
They
Godwin,
don't have
no
a tight
Julio
end,
Jones.
so they're throwing to Russell Gage, and I don't know how you win that game by only 2 points. Like, I know Leonard Fournette is good, but Jesus.
Oh yeah, because we were actually getting out of medieval times as like the game was like wrapping up, and I was like, oh, let me throw this on my phone to see because I was like, oh, curious, and I saw that the Bucks were like about to tie it up, and like they could have tied it with a 2 point conversion, like they were like that close to doing it, and to think like imagine losing that game as the Packers. I mean, you'd be infuriated.
How does Tampa Bay, well, I was watching the end of that game, and how does Tampa Bay get a delay a game going for the 2 point conversion to win the game? Like, dude,
Idiot.
especially Tom Brady, like that really shocked me. Like, that's the absolute worst thing you can do in that moment, and like they let it happen.
You should have had one the play before that when they scored the touchdown. The clock
Yeah.
ticked to 0. I know they were saying you're supposed to get like one beat because the ref has to like look, but it was like 0,
Yeah.
1,000,
the Packers do
no
that
flag.
100 times a game, so I think that's just the universe balancing out. But
Yeah, I guess if they missed
Yeah,
it.
you're right, Dave. You're right. Yeah, that's true. We just never noticed it, but now we'll pay more attention.
pay more attention and count. Dude, get a little notepad from the store and count how many times the clock hits 0, the play clock hits 0 next Packers game. Do me a favor. Report back to
Okay.
the audience next episode.
I can do that. Real quick for our bullshitting in the middle, what team has impressed you the most?
I think I got to go Miami Dolphins. I think before the year started, I was not really thinking Miami was going to be anything. I'm still not a Tua believer, but they've been solid. They've proved me wrong. They're 3-0, so I got to go Miami Dolphins.
I would probably say the Jaguars, just because they were such like a dumpster fire last year. I mean, mostly, I guess you can probably attribute damn near all of it to Urban Meyer.
Yep.
But like that was such a mess last year, and to see them like, not only just not be a laughingstock, be legitimately, good. And I was actually looking at their betting odds for the to win that division, like that AFC South division. I think they're like plus 280 or something, but maybe I could be wrong. But because I think they could legitimately win that division, like the Colts and the Titans aren't like blowing the brakes off anybody. So yeah, I think I'm probably most surprised by the Jaguars.
And who's the other team in that division?
The Texans.
Oh yeah. See,
So,
I was thinking now would be a good time to buy in on the Titans too. Titans usually figure things out. They have Derrick Henry, obviously. They have Mike Vrabel, the coach. So, but I don't hate the Jaguars pick either. I think like Urban Meyer goes out and they start to just figure things out. So,
yeah.
Trevor Lawrence seems a lot more comfortable playing under what's his name?
Doug Peterson.
Doug Peterson, yeah. Doug Peterson's doing a good job over there.
That defense looks pretty good too. Like
A lot of
I know the Chargers were banged up, but they still held them to 10 points, and I think that's kind of impressive because normally they're hanging a lot of points. I mean, like, so who did they play last week? The Chargers.
The Chiefs.
The Chiefs on Thursday night.
Yeah, and how many they put up a decent amount of points that game, didn't they? Like 24.
Yeah, because they covered. I think they lost like 27-24.
Yeah. So like holding them to 10 points, I think is pretty impressive. So, yeah, I would say those two teams are the most impressive. I would agree with that. What?
Yeah, you're just going to agree with us? You don't have another team?
Well, those are my picks. I would have to say the third one is the Eagles, and like specifically how Jalen Hurts has played. I don't think he's had a fumble or an interception thus far this season.
Really?
Yeah, you have to stat check me on that, but I don't think so.
How about this one for a surprise team? I don't know if you still have more to talk about the Eagles, but stay in the division. The Cowboys, after Dak Prescott's injury, I thought they were just down the toilet, but they might be better without Dak. So
Cooper Rush, yeah, I'm a believer.
Central Michigan alum.
Oh, yeah. No, I think that was a big win for them to go into because that was at New York, I think, last night, wasn't it?
Yeah, at New York.
The defense looked stellar, I thought. I mean, it's Daniel Jones, but at first I was thinking when I was watching the game, I'm like, wow, Daniel Jones is not playing bad. And then he throws that interception to nobody at the end.
Dude,
and so I couldn't talk about him.
Yeah. I was watching, you look at the game, I wasn't really watching, but I look at this. He doesn't have any fumbles or interceptions, and he's good he's going to have one a game. He's going to have one. He always does. I don't know how that guy still hasn't started.
But I was watching the game and I was excited. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get to talk about Daniel Jones and how he led him to a comeback, and then they won in overtime with a field goal, and then he threw that interception to nobody.
I don't think he's been in the league that long, but he's got like a very long leash. I feel like the Giants have sucked like the past 5 years. I don't really know when
firing their coaches, right?
Yeah. I guess when are you gonna move on though?
Yeah, I don't know.
Daniel Jones reminds me a lot of Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Which is not a good thing. That's not a good sign. As you can see,
sometimes they'll have good flashes, and you're like, oh wow, maybe this is the guy, and then you give it enough time, and he's gonna dink it up.
Them Cowboys fans are gonna be pretty high spirits by the time they come rolling into Lambeau.
They're gonna bring them on, baby.
They're gonna be really amped up, man. They're gonna be like, oh, we're way better than we thought we'd be, man. We're still in this.
So here's the thing: if you win the next, let's say you come into Lambeau and it's like Dak is available for the first time, and you've only lost 2 other games. Like let's say you're 6-3. Do you start Dak over Cooper Rush? I don't know if I would.
I think you have to.
You got to bring Dak back. Yeah, you got to start.
I think with all that money that they paid him, I think you have to. And Jerry Jones is calling the shots, and he loves him some Dak, dude. I don't know.
All right. Dak attack. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't think I would do that. I would roll with the guy that's winning you the games.
We'll see. Well, I mean, he's probably not going to be winning that many. I mean, I don't know what their schedule's like, but I mean,
so that's the middle of
beating the Bengals though too. So
yeah, so he beat the Bengals and then he beat the Vikings last year. Remember?
I did not know, but
oh yeah, in Minnesota. So they'll have about 6 more games. So we'll see. So right now they're 2-1. I could see them being 6-3 when they
6 more before Dak comes back.
Well, I don't know. They said the timetable was 4 to 8 weeks, and they were saying they should have put him on injured reserve, but Jerry Jones decided not to.
I saw he's targeting a week 5 return.
Geez, that's like a week from this. That's like in 2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks.
So from what I've been listening to, Russell Wilson, I think, had a similar injury last year, and he came back and was dog shit because they rushed him back.
He was he rushed himself back. He was so
Dude, I hate Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
I'm with Bo, dude. I hate Russell Wilson.
Bo went off hating on him like, yes.
It's weird. I didn't know there was a hatred for Russell Wilson. I didn't know there was out there
until maybe the last year or two. But with that injury and him doing those mental reps, while he was hurt, and then he just went out and just sucked so bad. And now we got all this hype about the Broncos, and he just sucks this year. I'm tired of all the hype about Russell Wilson. I think the problem is he's providing 3/4 of the hype
himself.
Yeah, and he doesn't back it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Broncos suck. I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, they sure don't look like a playoff team. Yeah.
No. Okay, so let's go big baller of the week. David?
Yeah, I'm gonna it's gonna be a boring pick just because of how well he did this week. But I feel good about the matchup as well. I'm going Khalil Herbert, back-to-back solid weeks. It's is that your pick?
Yeah, that was
He,
my
he's
first
got
pick.
he's got the Giants. The Giants just got torn up by Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. So the Bears have been running the ball decent. As bad as their pass blocking has been, they've been running the ball pretty well. So I feel good about Khalil Herbert. Do you need me to pick another one?
No, you're good, Max. Do you have one?
No. No.
Just read the outline.
Just
I thought it was just for you guys that did that. I don't know. I don't do fantasy, so I don't know all the.
You haven't watched any other episode this season?
No, I have, I guess. So what, John? Was it Big Baller? Who I think is just gonna have like a big.
yeah, or
week?
just name a player you think is gonna have a phenomenal week next week.
Hmm. I would probably say Devontae Adams, I guess, because
Bounce back.
that random, that other guy got like fourth in scoring last week, that Alex Collins guy or whatever. So I bet Adams bounces back this week and he's the one that goes off.
I'm gonna go just because I am put on the hot seat and I didn't have anyone else prepared. I'm gonna say Russell Wilson has a bounce back week. So put me down for Russell
40
Wilson.
points.
Oh boy, yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen, but put me down for Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I won't fault you this week because your pick got taken, and then Max, I'm obviously not throwing any daggers at you because you weren't prepared at all. But I wanted to talk about this on today's episode because last week you said Dalvin Cook as your big baller of the week, and I have this little clip because I was listening back to try to listen back to who our picks were, and to start this little template I started in my phone, and listen to John's explanation of big baller of the week. Let me see if you guys can hear this. Hold on.
Let's go into your big baller of the week for fantasy. Let me explain this. You can't pick like Jonathan Taylor or Jamar Chase. You got to have someone that's at least would be outside of the top 10 or 15. Like someone that it can be any position you want: quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. That no one's thinking of, that you're like, oh, I think they're going to have 15, 20 point week this week.
And my guy said Dalvin Cook, who's like a perennial top 5 running back in the rankings.
Oh God, yeah, you're right. I broke my own rules, dude.
Yeah.
That's good call. Max, do you have a lock of the week?
I just barely looked at. I didn't really look at the lines yet, but
Dude, this guy didn't even look at the outline, John.
No, I did. I just want to make sure it was right. I believe it was Titans 3.5. Or we're given 3.5.
Oh.
The Colts, I think. Is that
sounds right. I like that one too. I saw that.
Yeah, Titans,
Indianapolis, I think.
3.5. Yeah, that's my lock of the week.
3.5 point underdogs.
Yeah, like I said, I saw Indianapolis score 0 points 2 weeks ago. So if you score 0 points, I'm going to think you're pretty bad. So I think, yeah, I'll go with the Titans plus 3.5.
David.
Yeah, that's a great pick, Max. I'm going to go with my lock of the week with the Raiders minus 2.5 at home against Denver. I think Las Vegas is going to go crazy for the Raiders. They got some nuts fans. I think Denver sucks. I think Russell Wilson blows. I think Raiders can cover 2.5 points at home against Denver.
But are you factoring in the fact that Russell Wilson is going to be the big baller of the week?
That I didn't account for. I wasn't ready for that. But if he's the big ball of the week, I'm going to need the Raiders to put up some points. But you also said your big ball of the week is going to be Devontae Adams. I think the big ballers are going to cancel each other out.
That's right. I forgot I picked Devontae Adams. Yes.
So you factor in 2 big ballers of the week on the Raiders of Mac Hollins and Devontae Adams.
That's must-watch TV right there.
Yeah, that's must-watch TV.
Yeah, good luck, Russell Wilson, getting that victory, you schmuck. I'm going I guess I'm not going to explain it well, but I think Joe Burrow's going to have a bounce back. He's finally going to look phenomenal. The line's going to protect him. He's only going to get sacked 4 times instead of 6. And I think the Bengals at home are going to pull out a 7-point win against the Dolphins, and they're 3.5-point favorites.
So John loves the Dolphins, and he's doing reverse psychology, picking the Bengals.
No, I think this is a trap game, and I think Vegas knows something, dude.
It's Bengals minus 3.5.
Yep.
At home against Miami.
Yep.
That's Thursday night football, isn't it?
Thursday night, baby. So you can find out soon.
I'm just jotting these down, and Max has Tennessee at. They're plus 3.5.
Yeah.
At Indianapolis.
Yeah.
So on the year, obviously, John, for those of you that actually listen, unlike Max, we didn't have a guest on episode 1, so it's going to be 1 game short for the guest pick rankings of the year. So I'm 1-2 on my locks of the week. John's 2-1 with an asterisk, and then the guest is 0-2. So it's tough. It's tough to pick locks. So let's see if Max can turn things around for the guests.
All right. Yeah. I hope to. Yeah.
Max, thanks for being on and seducing us this evening.
No problem. Thank you guys for having me. Yeah, hopefully I'll be deserving of it with a first place win next time I come on.
Hey, I think you deserve to be here on the podcast. Finishing second place twice in 3 weeks is very impressive, especially out of like 48 people that John invited to be in the pick'em this year. So I'm all in favor of Max being a guest, and hopefully we can squeeze Joe in at some point this weekend.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, David.
Yep. Thanks all for listening
to
episode 4. We appreciate you all listening. Thanks, Max. Thanks for coming on. It was a pleasure having you.